Hey guys, what's up? It's Matt, Guitar Guy here with you. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a new piece of gear that I recently purchased. I'll be sharing with you why I purchased this piece of gear, and we'll be taking a look at the ins and outs of it. It's the Line 6 HX Stomp. So let's hop on over to the other side and have a closer look. So why did I feel the need to buy an HX Stomp? I already have and use a Line 6 Helix as well as a Kemper. But it's the form factor, the small footprint of the HX Stomp that won me over. It gives me all of the functionality that I'm used to utilizing in the Line 6 Helix in such a small footprint. And when traveling or picking up local dates, it's so much more convenient, ensuring that I have my sounds and my tones with me at all times. Now, I bought the HX Stomp with a particular purpose in mind. I wanted to put together a small pedal board, but still have all of the sounds and tones that I'm used to having, as well as the functionality that I'm used to having with my Line 6 Helix. Now, I've already purchased a pedal board. I spec'd it out so that the measurements, the entire board, once it's put together, will fit underneath the seat in front of me on an airplane when traveling. Now, in speccing out this new pedal board that I'm putting together, I started with the measurements of an airplane seat. So how much space would I have to put a packed pedal board underneath the seat in front of me? So that gave me my measurements or size of the pedal board. Of course, the HX Stomp acting as the heart, the core, and the brains of the entire setup. So let's take a look at some of the ins and outs of the HX Stomp and how I'm able to achieve the functionality in this small pedal that I have in my larger Line 6 Helix. Now, getting back to one of my main reasons for going with the HX Stomp is its form factor, its size. Now, as you can see, my HX Stomp even fits in the molded pocket of my Charvel case. I actually took the HX Stomp out for a rehearsal last week, carrying only a guitar and an amp, the HX Stomp being in the pocket of the guitar case. Now, as we look at the front of the HX Stomp, it looks very minimalistic, but there's a lot of functionality here. You'll notice initially the 3 foot switches, but there's multiple functionality within those foot switches depending on what mode you're in on the HX Stomp. Now, aside from the 3 foot switches, we also have 5 scroll wheels that function as push buttons as well. We also have 4 buttons that are located on each side of the center 2 scroll wheels. So within this very minimalistic form factor, there's tons of functionality that's available to you. And the HX Stomp, unlike many products that I've used, it's incredibly intuitive to get around on without having to dig through manuals. You're able to get up and running with the HX Stomp in a matter of a minute or less. Now, going to the back side of the Stomp, we of course have a section for our power supply, something that I'll mention a little more about later. We have our USB MIDI port, which connects the HX Stomp to your Mac or PC. Now, connecting the HX Stomp to your PC or Mac, through HX Edit, it gives you on-screen functionality when it comes to creating presets or altering presets. You have a full on-screen view of how to make adjustments to those settings or build out your custom preset tones. Next, we have an output section. Of course, we have our left and right output. Further to the right, we have an input section. We actually have stereo inputs here on the Stomp. We have a left input and a right input. Now, using the HX Stomp as a guitarist, you're going to go into that left side of your input. Now, the very last input we have there is actually what we call a TRS, tip ring sleeve, or an insert, which it gives us some of that functionality that I'm talking about in using the HX Stomp as kind of your core or base for a pedal board. So we are able to add additional expression pedals or additional switches or buttons to control functions within the HX Stomp. Or you can choose to have an expression pedal and a switch, which I will be using for the pedal board that I'm building. I'll have one expression pedal. I can use that for volume swells or as a wah, as well as I'll have a switch that will be a dedicated tap tempo and tuner switch. Now on the left side of the HX Stomp, we have 3 additional inserts. Now the farthest on the right is our send insert. Again, this is a tip-ring sleeve insert. So it allows us to send a signal out on a left and right path, or it allows us to send signals out to 2 different places. Okay, so what I will be doing with this, I have a particular overdrive pedal and a reverb pedal that I really like a lot that I'll include on this pedal board. So I will use a tip-ring sleeve insert cable to send audio signal to the overdrive and as well to the reverb unit. Moving over, we have our left and right return inserts. So in using that overdrive and reverb pedal, I will return those to either the right or left side. For example, the overdrive I'll return to the left side, the reverb pedal I'll return to the right side. Now you can do these in any particular order, but what this allows us to do, we're able to insert blocks within the HX Stomp for those particular pedals. So I will have 2 blocks, one for my overdrive pedal and one for my reverb pedal that I can insert in my signal chain within the HX Stomp. Now you'll notice the right return also says aux in. If you wanted to maybe play music through maybe using the HX Stomp as a practice device and you want music coming in to hear it while you're practicing, you can do that. You can plug in your music there and you can turn it on and use it as an auxiliary in within the HX Stomp as well. Now on the opposite side of the HX Stomp, you'll notice that we have a headphone out, which perfectly adapts the HX Stomp to being used as a practice amp in small environments or in settings where you want to practice and you don't have to disturb others that are around you. Next, we have MIDI ins and outs on the HX Stomp. Again, by using the MIDI, we're able to gain more functionality. For example, the pedal board that I'm putting together, I will also have a MIDI pedal with 3 foot switches that allows me 3 more additional foot switches. Again, being able to gain the functionality that I have in the Line 6 Helix through the HX Stomp. Line 6 has really done an incredible job with HX Stomp. There is so much functionality in such a small form factor or footprint within the HX Stomp. Now, there is so much that is so good about the Line 6 HX Stomp. It's really hard to critique Line 6 about anything, but my one critique would be this wall wart that comes with the HX Stomp. It is a very unusual kind of length and size for a wall wart. It's really not convenient if you're trying to plug into maybe a power strip, or it's just very unusual. Now, with me going with the HX Stomp as a pedalboard platform, I had the need to power the HX Stomp from a DC power supply or a pedalboard powered brick. Now, in doing my research, I came to find out that the voltage or milliamps of the HX Stomp is significantly higher than standard pedalboard effects. The HX Stomp needs to be in that range of 12 to 1500 milliamps or so. So I saw where there were kind of some hacks that were being done, people using Y splitters from the standard 9-volt distribution units, using a converter, converting that down to a 2 point, or converting it up to a 2.5 millimeter adapter. Now, in doing my research further and finding the perfect distribution or power supply for not only the HX Stomp and my other pedals on the pedal board, I came across a company by the name of Sweetfoot Pedals. You can go to sweetfootpedals.com. They make a power distribution that is customized to the HX Stomp. Now, this has to be one of the coolest power distribution or power bricks I've ever come across. It has one output that is solely dedicated to meeting the requirements and needs of the HX Stomp specifically, and 5 additional outputs for powering 5 other traditional effects pedals on the pedal board. Now, this distribution unit has a really cool graphic and design to it. It has Tesla on it, and his eyes are actually LEDs that light up, of course, when the unit's plugged up. It's almost a shame that I have to hide this underneath the pedal board itself. And yet again, I have to give kudos to Line 6. They really truly understand where the music industry is today, and in providing a product that fits and meets the need of the musicians of today. Well, as always, I hope this video has been beneficial and you're able to take away something to aid you in your journey as a guitarist. Until the next time, please make sure to give me a like, and please make sure to click that subscribe bell for more guitar related content. We'll see you soon.